Hey, hey, look at me. Here I am. Here I am. A little bit strubly, but here. Good morning, good morning. I did say I was going to be on at 11:30, didn't I? Just making sure. All right, here we go. So, I always forget which way to, okay, there we go. 11:30. I'm going to double, triple, quadruple check here. Yeah. So welcome everybody. Welcome. Smiles everyone smiles. Lynn and Kathy and Robin and Janet. This is the romper room portion of the show, as some of you may be familiar. Beanie, Nellie, Jennifer, German May 95. Hello. Crystal with a K. Lovely to see y'all. Emily, Anna, or Anna, as some of my friends call themselves. Nice to see y'all. Danielle, Gen X Warrior. I am the warrior. That was like a total Gen X moment, wasn't it? Bang, bang. If you know, you know. So hey, I am wicked excited to be. I will confide in you all. I'm a little bit extra excited and kind of effervescent and bubbly because I just booked some travel. I did. I am all about the travel, and I just I'm taking advantage of some points that I have on my credit card, and this is how I live a life I love. Is to have time and space in my life for travel and things like that. And I want to help you do this too. Patty, nice to see you. Yeah, it is really cool. It was one of these things where yesterday I was kind of realizing I had some credits that were going to expire, and I had to wait for my husband to get home because I wanted to, I'm sure he would have been cool with, like, if I booked it on my own. We have a good relationship like that. But I was afraid that I would have booked it and then he would have come home because he was away for the weekend doing some rock and rolling and said, oh, you know what? I didn't put it on the calendar because we share a calendar. Talk about breeze blocking. We share a calendar. And I was afraid he might have had a gig that I didn't know about, but he said, all good. Robin, no worries that you missed the meeting on Sunday about breeze blocking. Here, I goofed up. I am a human and I goofed up. I will totally admit to you is that... So a few people got in touch with me after the pop-up. I did a pop-up TikTok live yesterday morning, and a bunch of people signed up for the mailing list. And I was like, awesome, this is so cool. And then now I realize, rightly so, some folks emailed me and said, hey, I thought I was going to get an invitation to this Zoom, but I haven't received it yet. I said, oh, that's kind of weird. So I sent them, I said, no worries, here's how you get in. Then when I went to go send the recording to everybody on the list, much to my chagrin, as they would say in a book, I went to my email provider, and what do I see hanging out like a draft as opposed to a sent was the email that I had sent. So no worries if you missed it. The good thing is, if you are on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list, the members only list, members only list, members only, like the jacket. That's kind of a Gen X thing. If you're on the Destination Declutter's members only list, which is free, you will have gotten a link to the recording to that. Not only that, but all of the other free workshops that I do just for the people on the members only list. So there we go. You can watch those at your leisure and revolutionize your life with it. Okay. So no worries. There we go. Robin, longtime member. Okay, so hopefully you got the emails. The other thing too is I did reach out, and I will ask you this. I like to take care of my people. It's just how I am. And one thing that happens, and I know I'm getting a little bit kind of insider here, but one thing I noticed is that when I send out emails, there's a list of people that their emails are blocked for some reason. So what I did yesterday was I reached out to my email provider. I really am happy with the service I've gotten from them. And I'm hoping to get a list of the people who are blocked, because the reason I ask you this, I don't want to bore you with the background details, but I say this to you if you signed up for the Destination Decluttered mailing list, the members only list, on my website, destinationdecluttered.com/join, and you haven't received any emails lately, let me know that, because I can go in and see why. If you haven't received any emails, reach out to me. Beth@destinationdecluttered.com is my email address. Don't abuse it. Just use it. Don't abuse it. I work with the needy and not the greedy. And if you think you should be on the mailing list, but you haven't gotten any emails, let me know. Reach out via email and say, hey, I didn't get it. I can then kind of backtrack about it. The other thing too is if you signed up before and then maybe you unsubscribed, and if you want to sign up again, I think that can happen as well. All right. So enough about that kind of background stuff. Hello. If we've never met before, my name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach. I'm about the decluttering as much as I am the life, maybe even a little bit more on the life side, because I want you to go out and live a life you live. And if clutter is the thing that's in your way, I can help you remove that roadblock of clutter from in front of your car and move forward. Now, here's a fun thing, and I'm going to have somebody help me with this too. I'm going to write this down. So here's kind of a silly thing is notice behind me, if you're looking at your screen, you don't have to look at your screen the whole time I'm doing this live. I do this live for about an hour, and pretty much it's just my big face, and I'm probably occasionally going to be pointing to this pin, this like map pin. This is where you are now, and this other map pin over here, this pink one, is where you want to be. This is your destination. Now, here's a funny thing. I think her name was Judy. Yes, it was. And she was on yesterday's, I did a free workshop for the people on the members only mailing list. And we were waiting for people to come in, sign on because it's on Zoom. And she said, I have to ask you, what's up with this map pin here? Why does it look all weird on the top? Is it folded over and you can't straighten it out? And I cracked up because I was like, actually, I'm not that good at using Illustrator on my computer anymore. I literally learned like 20 plus years ago. I probably still have the same student version on my computer that I got in like, whatever, 1999? Yeah, 1999, 1990, 2000, something like that. Wow, it's a while ago. This right here is supposed to look like a heart. It is. I know it doesn't. It was supposed to look like a heart. Like you get to your destination. Yay, it's a heart. You're happy. And she was like, oh, I didn't realize that. It just looks like it's folded over. So we both laughed about it. So you will notice in the next few weeks, and I'm going to write this down. This is how you get stuff to happen. You have an idea and you don't want to lose it, so you write it down. Fix my heart. Now, if that doesn't sound like a song title, I don't know what it is. I'm going to give it to my husband, who's a songwriter, and I'll see if he does anything with it. But yes, destination decluttered. You are here, and if your life is not doing it like you want it to, we can change that. Especially, we start with the clutter, but trust me, it has a positive ripple effect in so many other areas of your life, so that you are driving towards a destination that you're excited to get to. This excitement is a feeling in you. And I say excitement, there's all sorts of words, an effervescence, a magnetic pull towards where you want to be. And that feeling kind of activates what I like to call the factory down here, so that you actually do the things, you take the actions to get you to where you want to go. Okay, so here's a fun thing, and this is how my brain works, and I honor that because I have so much fun with my coaching. And one of the things I do is I use a lot of analogies, because to me, I would much rather use words and phrases that exist already and concepts already exist in my mind than have to remember, okay, what's my ego, what's a belief, what's a nervous system, what's a neural pathway. I know all that stuff from my coaching, but when I explain things that way, it sounds boring. And sometimes I have to translate them in my head to something I know. So here's something I've been playing with my clients. I do one-on-one coaching over Zoom with clients, and I want to share this with you. Is think about it. Think. Thinking happens up here. Feeling happens down here. Thinking is in your head. Feeling is in your heart. When you think of something and you feel like you want to do it, you go do it. Because these two are working together. Your head and your heart are like, hey, buddy, let's go do something together. However, if you have stuff that you say you want to do, you say up here above the fold, above the neck, if you say you want to do it, if it goes from here to here, but it doesn't happen, it's because there is like a disconnect between up here and down here. The head and the heart are not working together. Now, this is my kind of life coaching portion of the show, but here's how I like to explain it. And I was sharing this with some clients this morning. Is imagine that your brain is a factory, or excuse me, your body, your life is a factory. Your internal workings are a factory. Or maybe if you don't want to do factory, maybe you think of it as like a corporation, like a business. So up here we have upper management from the neck up, mindset, gotta do it, whatever. So up here for all of us, this is where your ideas come through. This is where your vision of your destination is created. It's not created like on your toes. It's when you're working with your head and your heart, you're envisioning what you want your home and life to look and feel and function like. It's up here, and there should be some heart here too. So that's what you do when those things are working well. However, if you have a plan and it's not happening, it's because upper management and like the worker and workers are not in alignment. That there hasn't been a consultation. Not a consultation. What am I thinking of? I'm still working on this, but I really want to share it with you because I'm excited about how this makes so much sense to me, and so it will hopefully make sense to you. Is up here, there's a plan. Hey, you guys strategize it. I'm imagining almost like guys with like the white shirts rolled up to their shirt sleeves, like 50s guys, looking at a big plan, like some maps and maybe some architecture things, or even like a map. Okay, this is how we're going to get here. We're going to go here, and then we're going to go here. We got to do this. We got to do that. All right, sounds great. Yeah, Bob, sounds cool, right? This is management. They come up, or they're the big thinkers. They come up with the idea. But if they don't consult with, if they don't have a conversation, if they don't collaborate with the workers down here, the machine that gets stuff done, it doesn't happen. The workers are like, no, I don't buy into that. I don't see why I'm good. I don't see why we should do that. I'm not going to do it. So here's what I want to offer to you is to think about when things aren't going your way, clutter-wise and otherwise. Is there a disconnect between your head and your heart? Have the managers, have the map makers up here forgotten to kind of walk down the stairs to the shop floor and say, hey, you guys, I've got this plan. I think it's going to get us to where we want to go to. I'm kind of excited about it. But before we even start, I want to check in with you. You are the ones who are going to be doing the work. You're going to be feeling the feelings. You're going to be moving these hands and moving things. Does this feel like it's going to work to you? And now what I said, now does it think? Do you think it's going to work? Does this feel like it's doable? And pay attention to what your workers say and take their advice and modify your plans so that people are working in simpatico. Okay? That to me is a revolutionary way of thinking it, because if your workers are saying, yeah, you know what, sounds like a good idea, but that sounds a little bit too aggressive. We need to take some breaks. We need to do some other things, so we can do some of that, but don't try to be all or nothing. We don't want to be working nights and weekends. Let's clock in for a certain decent amount of time, because we also have quality of life. And then if you say, okay, you're right, I'll chunk it down and I'll put it on there, I'll do it. It's different from that top down, no, you got to do it because I said to. You got to work 10 hours and nights and weekends. Who the F wants to work for somebody like that? I don't. So don't be that kind of boss to yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Okay? All right. So now that I have kind of said that spiel, and I just want that, just here, I offer it up as a way to think about things. Take it in and absorb it. See how that feels. Okay. Let me jump into the comments and the questions that are showing up in front of my face right here. The other thing I will say to you too, off the bat, is if you are just tuning in or you've met me for the first time, let me reassure you that if you are unable to stay on this TikTok live for the next 45 minutes or so, that's okay. I download these TikTok lives and I upload them to Destination Decluttered on YouTube so you can watch them at your convenience. And one of the things I do to make that easier for the people watching them is when questions and comments come by, I will read them out loud, because what doesn't happen is the words that go by on the screen live here on TikTok do not port over to the video. So like, for example, I'm going to scroll back here. And Anna Little says, I have so much stuff. I don't know where to begin, and I don't want to get rid of any of it. Well, Anna, you've kind of set yourself up with a tall order, huh? Here's where I want you to start. I want everybody to start, is before you even think of what you're getting rid of, just think about what your destination is. How do you do that? You say, okay, this is how my home, well, even never mind the life coachy part of it. How does my home look right now? Does it look the way I want it to look? If the answer is yes, yay. If the answer is kinda, cool. If the answer is no, also cool, because we can change that. How does your life look now? Excuse me, life coach, I often interchange these things. How does your home look now? And how do you want it to look instead? How does your home feel? Meaning, how do you feel when you're in your home now? And how do you want to feel when you're in your home? Destination. And the last of this kind of 3 is a magic number portion of the show. How does your home function right now? And how would you like it to function instead? So look, feel, and function are kind of like the trifecta. The 3 is a magic number, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Whatever. It's the 3 is a magic number. Think about what you want it to look like and write that stuff down. It's like being on a journey. It is. You're going to have to show up to get there. You're going to have to do stuff. But you're going to be more likely to do that if you're excited about where you're going. If you feel like you have to do it, if you feel like what you're doing is going to inflict pain, I'm going to have to lose items, get rid of things, that's going to make these guys reluctant. That's going to be your heart reluctant to get into it. You know how they say my heart was like my heart wasn't in it and you're just kind of going through the motions? Your heart needs to be in it. And this is love and excitement for where you want to go. So start with that. And then once you do that, come back up to here and say, okay, what can you do today to get closer to that? What I will offer is every little bit helps. There's all sorts of ways to do it. If there's tools in the Destination Decluttered coaching toolkit, chunk it down. Start with like I talk about again, I like 3 as a magic number. Yes, it is. It's a magic number. 3 levels of clutter: surface, stored, sentimental. Even today, just look at the surface clutter, the stuff, and it's funny, the stuff on your horizontal surfaces that's getting you, that just makes your house look like you don't want it to look. Now I do this and I look over here. I'm a decluttering life coach. I have a bunch of stuff kind of piled on this table right here because I have some stuff I haven't gotten to. I thought that putting it on the table would remind me to do it, and it's not working. So I'm going to put it elsewhere because what I thought was going to work wasn't working. Chunk it down. And here's another wonderful thing. Instead of focusing on what you're giving away, focus on the stuff you're keeping. How's that for a nice little flip of the opposite, like I often say? Instead of focusing on what you are getting rid of, focus on the stuff that you really want to keep. Really, really want to keep. Like that affects lights up your heart. Oh my gosh, I totally want to keep that. I totally want to keep that. I totally want to keep that. Focus on the things that give you those good feelings. When you practice that, you are going to notice the things that don't give you that feeling. The ones that are more like, well, that thing's okay. Nah. Or, ugh, no, you know what? I don't even want that. Start with the stuff you want to keep. Focus on the stuff you want to keep. That will allow you to see the difference in how it feels to focus on what you're keeping versus what you're getting away. When you think you're losing something, you're going to be not wanting to do this. So think about what you're gaining. You're gaining a home that has 2 things I bet you want. To be only surrounded by the stuff you love and you find is useful, and also that you have space in your home and your life to do the things you want to do. Okay? All right. Okay, got some people with depression, and I will be very serious about this. Depression is a real thing. I can help you up to a certain extent, but there's after a certain point or even before a certain point. Unless you treat your depression, it's just going to make what you're doing, decluttering, a lot more difficult than it needs to be. So everybody, you, if you have a situation going on that could benefit from some professional help of the mental health kind, the physical health kind, the trained medical professionals kind, please, oh please, oh please, for you, for me, for the world, for your life, for everybody around you, take that brave step and get the right help for you. I'm like a Band-Aid. I am like, something you could buy off the rack. I'm like the fries to the meal. But if you really need the burger, if you really need the professionally trained help is going to get you where you want to go, please get help with that and work with that. I'm as I said, I'm like the fries to therapy. If you're in therapy, and somebody else is helping you with a lot of the deeper issues that are going to come up anyway in coaching, I can totally work with you when you're within therapy, but if you've got situations coming up that you think could benefit from therapy, honor that feeling and try that first. Okay? There we go. All right. Earl is saying, thanks for the consultation. Even though we won't be working together, still productive and in the direction. You're welcome, Earl. So here's a wonderful thing where I say this as a human to my other fellow human beings, is I may not be the right choice for you, but the neat thing is you're reaching out and you're trying to find help. And I will always reinforce that a lot of what I offer can help many people, and it can be even more helpful when you get the real help you need. I will be there to continually champion you and support you. I hold everybody in my heart with the knowledge, the stone cold knowledge, or maybe not even cold and not even stone, whatever the opposite is. The soft, mushy, wonderful, heart type pink knowledge that you can do this. It's just stuff in your house after all, but sometimes it feels like a lot more than that. So get the help you need. Okay, and you're welcome, Earl, and thanks for chiming in. What was it? Jen says the joys of having ADHD. Nothing connects unless threatened to be fired. Ooh, no. You see, who wants to work in an office in a company that works that way? No. Play nicely with your workers and your management. You know, don't threaten people to be fired. How about, oh, you know what? I'm going to set a reminder. I'm going to put an external deadline. Put it on. Hey, I'm checking in. This is just the check-in time. Okay, you're not working. Why are you stopping? Let's do it again. Okay? Love and compassion moves you forward. Top-down thinking sets yourself up for feeling sucky. Okay? And you're welcome for breaking it down. This is how it makes sense to my brain. And my brain loves to explain things in so many ways. This is kind of like my creative outlet because it allows me, I love thinking about stuff and having it make sense to me. Because if it doesn't make sense up here and here, I tune out. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I know my ego and my super ego and my beliefs and next thing you know, I'm on TikTok scrolling around looking for, recipes or travel hacks. Okay. Okay. Barefoot Eclectic 303 says, just came home from a month. I'm in the RV. That must have been fun. So much clutter in my house today. Notice that this may be one of two things. And this is one of the drawbacks of doing, a TikTok live versus one-on-one coaching or even being on one of the members only Zooms is I can only infer so much from the email. So I don't know if the clutter existed prior to you leaving or that the clutter was made because you came home. Please know that you're aware of the clutter. Your blinders are off right now. And that is a wonderful place to be because you're noticing that this place doesn't look like you want it to look. So you can do something about it. So I ask you, is there a better place for some of the items that are currently clutter? Move the things that aren't where they should be closer to where they should be. And I say should as in where you want them to be. And that will make things less cluttered. Okay? Anna Little says, when I come home from a motel, I hate it here. Okay. Don't you want to love where you live? Wouldn't it feel good if you loved where you live? And I will say this, it has nothing to do with how big your house is. It has nothing to do with how much stuff you have. If anything, notice. We think having more stuff is going to make us feel better. It's not. It's not because we're here talking about clutter. Clutter is too much. Clutter happens when you only take into consideration what's going on from the neck up. But when you consult what's coming down here and you kind of work together, say, is that really going to get me? No, but I feel bad. I want to make myself feel better. I'm going to buy myself that stuff. Buy myself that stuff. Look at me. I'm from Ireland. You deserve to live in a place that you don't hate, that I dare say that you love. And it doesn't need to be big, and it doesn't need to be having a lot of stuff. It needs to just feel right to you, like Goldilocks. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. Not too soft, not too hard, just right. And your version of just right. Okay? Okay. Tyler says that I want what's in my storage, but I had to move into an apartment. I want my house back. Okay. Notice, if you want your house back, can you get your house back? Can you do things to get your house back? I don't know. If the answer is yes, do the things to get your house back. But if there is a situation where you want something and it seems very highly unlikely that it's going to happen, I'm not saying impossible, start to think about wanting something different. I want a place to live that's around the same size as my other place. Dare say I want some place that's my version of better. Notice that. Christina Glendale, nice to see you. Hello. I will see you soon, I think. Yeah, this week. Okay. All right. And yes, Mary, thank you for chiming in. Everyone can benefit from counseling, my own self included. Everybody. What you need is somebody to listen to you, hear you, see you, be there with you, and want to help you to get you to where you want to go. I do this on my very kind of my own pay grade level. But yes, getting help, real good help, will help. Oh, Christina just said, you are the perfect combination to therapy. Thank you for changing my head, my hand, and my heart. That's what I talk about. So when your head thinks a certain thing, it makes your heart feel a certain thing. And when these two are talking, that's when either your hands move and release items and hang on to stuff you love and release items you don't, or they stay stuck and not moving and clinging on to stuff you don't want. Notice it. Okay? Mama Kimbo says, you got me through my whole house. Well, check us out. Check us out. And you know what? I will throw that thank you right back at you. He says, on to the garage today. Little high fives. I'll give you the right high fives right back, because here's the great thing about me coaching you on Zoom versus being in your house is you are the one who is transforming your life into what you want it to be. I'm not coming in and doing it for you. You are doing it yourself. And that means when you practice doing it on your home, you're going to learn that you can use these same principles to change your life in so many other ways. Okay, so Mama Kimbo, everybody, that's so good. A little bit at a time. All right, do this. Is decanting still a form of decluttering? Now, I'm thinking of decanting wine. Sure, empty that wine bottle. All right. Okay, let's see. What do we have? Oops. Somebody says they're feeling so empowered. Mama Kimbo, feeling so empowered. So much lighter. You guys, what a wonderful combination. And I say guys, I mean gender neutral. I mean it gender neutral. It's a habit of mine. I'm Gen X. Everybody, think about it. Folks, think about it. Feeling light, yet full of power. What a freaking awesome way to feel. Okay? Okay. Mommy Salami talks about buying too much, and it says the thrill wears off real quick. Yeah, that's that temporary dopamine rush that only lasts for a bit. It's kind of like eating a salty, crunchy snack. I realize this too. Your salty, crunchy snacks, because I struggle with certain things that I eat. And I realize that what happens, all the good stuff still happens up here. It happens on your taste buds and the crunchy. As soon as you swallow it, then it's like, oh great, now what have I done? You know, and not like in that way, but it's like you forget that there's a connection between what's going on up here and what's going on down here. Okay? Beth, you give us the power back over our stuff and we control it. Yeah. And here's the thing. I don't give it back to you. I just kind of wake up your co-pilot to remind you that you've always had it and you just didn't realize it yet. That you have, I show up, I like to say this, you're the driver in the car, but you've got two invisible passengers. You've got your co-pilot who just loves you and wants you to go everywhere. This is your soul, this is God, this is the universe, this is your best friend on a road trip. This is your best self, is up in the front seat with you saying, where do you want to go? Let's go. This is going to be fun. We can do it. I love you so much. We're going to make it happen. However, if you're not getting there, it's because you've got some backseat drivers that say, ho, 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 no, you're changing. I don't want you to change. And what I do is remind you that you have your own co-pilot, that they maybe have quiet because you didn't even realize you had them. But when you learn how to quiet down those kids in the back seat, then your co-pilot can perk up and say, hey, you know what? You can do this. You rock. You rock so much. What do you want to do today? Let's do it. Let's get on that road. Now, I show up as sorry, my computer's acting weird. I show up as an external version of your internal co-pilot. I speak to you externally in a way that if you spoke to yourself internally this way, as opposed to beating yourself up, you would totally feel better. You would totally feel empowered, and you would be able to make the choices, make the decisions that get you closer to your destination than if you believe the backseat drivers and stay stuck. Okay? Mama Kimbo says, our daughter, 30, is home from out of state, and I have her putting her name on anything she'll want. What a great idea. What a great idea. I'm kind of doing that with my mom too, very informally. I will see her next week for Thanksgiving, and I've already asked her if I could have something of her China collection that she doesn't necessarily want. And I'm going to do the next step, which is to bring them back to my house. So little bits at a time. Don't wait until somebody, here, I'm going to be blunt. Don't wait till somebody's dead to figure out what to do with their stuff, yourself included. Make a plan now, and what you'll have is peace of mind from now until that unhelpful, inevitable event. You'll have peace of mind, and I say peace of mind, but peace of mind lives here too. When you're like, okay, cool, no worries, I have a plan in place. So make that plan for other people, help other people make that plan, but make a plan for yourself, okay? Tyler's saying, it's hard to grieve my grandmother's furniture that I've had for years and used. Yeah, notice that there are certain things that you have that fall under what I call the sentimental category. It's not just like a furniture. It's not just like furniture you got from IKEA. It's like furniture that has a story behind it. And the story isn't, oh yeah, I just bought this in IKEA. It's, this was my grandmother's, this, whatever the story is, makes you feel a different thing in your heart than your IKEA furniture. So it may take a little bit more time, energy, patience, love to make a decision you feel good about when you are deciding whether you want to keep it or whether you want to release it back out into the wild so somebody else can love it. Rebecca Rose says, I need this guidance. Here I am, rocking you like a hurricane, huh? So you will notice so in case we haven't met, oh my gosh, it's already halfway over. I started about a half an hour ago. My name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach. I help you declutter your life. I'm a coach. And I call my coaching Destination Decluttered. Why? Because I love to travel. I just booked some travel today. I've got some other travel going on, travel. So you will see me on TikTok often when I am at home doing my work. However, I am also living a life that I love. I am at my destination where I am able to go off the digital grid and go traveling. And that lights me up like nobody's business. I am truly a living, walking, breathing example of the possibility, because boy, a number of years ago, oh no, clutter, fear, shame, like literally scaredness, being like, I changed. You can too. And it doesn't take a lot. It just takes little baby steps, and I can help you get there so much quicker than it took me. Okay. So I say that to say a couple things. I have a couple of TikTok lives that are scheduled for this week. They are posted. If you go, and please do me, this is one, I know this is so superficial, but it's fun to me when I see the numbers of followers that I have on TikTok growing. So if I can ask you a favor, if you've liked my page, thank you so much. If you, followed it, like the follow thing, could you share my page with somebody you think might like it as well? Somebody you know who is struggling with clutter. Could you share my page with them? It would help them, and then I get the delight of seeing my numbers grow. Now, as I said, I know that's kind of a superficial thing, but to me, I show up more when I know that there's people out there who need what I want. It's like, if nobody wants it, oh, okay, I guess you're all good. I'll just go do my own stuff. But if somebody's out there needing my help, I want to help them if I am able to. And the first way I can do that is having them be aware of me. And so sharing Destination Decluttered. If they're not on TikTok, I have a Facebook page, I have an Instagram page, and as I mentioned earlier, these TikTok lives are uploaded to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. So you can watch these, you can share them that way. Also, I do have a mailing list, a members only mailing list. I call it members only because it reminds me of those like 70s or 80s jackets with the little epaulets and stuff. Totally goofy, but I'm a Gen Xer who likes to be goofy, so welcome. DestinationDecluttered.com is my website. That's where you sign up for this free mailing list. We do all sorts of good things. Just yesterday, I did a free workshop about how to breeze block your day. Tomorrow night, I have the monthly free group Zoom call. All of the stuff on my website, all this stuff on my the members only list is free. Even just signing up is just your email address put into a form. You promise you're not a robot, and then you get kind of the insider skinny. You get first dibs on a lot of stuff. And the main first dibs you get too is you get first crack at having one-on-one coaching with me. So you know when the consultation calendar is updated, you have personal access to me if it doesn't work for you. I'm here to help you on so many levels, and I'm here not to just help you, but for other people too. So if you could get the word out, that would be really cool. back to your regularly scheduled program, okay? So Rebecca Rose, you said, I need this guidance. Look at all the guidance you have. And so much of it is just right here to help you. Tiffy Claire says, what were the 3 types of clutter again? Surface, horizontal surfaces, usually like I'm thinking kitchen table, counters, tables, floors, anything that is horizontal that's got stuff on it that's not supposed to be there. That to me is under the umbrella, the category of surface clutter. After that, the next one down is stored clutter. So stored clutter rhymes. It's what's behind doors and drawers, pretty much. So closet doors, cabinets, drawers in your kitchen, drawers in your bureau, anything that's stuff you have, but it's like hidden, is stored. Now, sometimes you have surface clutter because your storage is packed. So we work in combo of those 2 things to get you to the right balance of everything you have is what you want and it fits someplace you want. That's the functionality of it. I used to be besides being I got all sorts of stuff in my illustrious and awesome Gen X career. Everything from a corporate process manager to a seller and collector of vintage antiques and mid-century stuff, to being a visual merchandiser for, Pier 1 Imports, and a manager, Mikasa, all sorts of things. All of the stuff that I have done in my life leads me to do this. I'm freaking good at it. And I want to share my knowledge with you so you can be good at it too. So yeah, surface, stored. And then the last one is sentimental. Sentimental is the stuff. It may be stored and it may be out on the shelves, but it's the things that you have that tell you tell you a story. And that story either makes you want to keep them or makes you struggle to get rid of them or to let go of them. Okay, there we go. And thank you, Mary. I just saw that. Surface, stored, and sentimental. Thank you very much for that. Okay, yes. Yeah, there you go, Mary. So see, notice you have the just getting curious and realizing you have the surface clutter because the storage clutter. Now here, let me help you with this one. Storage clutter usually happens because the stuff that you use all the time is in circulation, and the valuable real estate in your doors, in your drawers, woo, the valuable real estate behind your doors and in your drawers is taken up by stuff you don't use. It's like squatters almost, if I'm thinking of real estate. So think about when you are doing laundry, when you have laundry in the washer and in the dryer, go and open up one of your drawers and say, do I even wear these things? And if I do, that's cool. But if I don't, why are they taking up valuable space? So it's making it more difficult for me to put away my laundry that I actually do wear. Maybe I have too many quantities of things. How many t-shirts do we all have? Maybe I realized I wear a lot of sweatshirts, or I buy sweatshirts. It became a habit to buy them when I was on vacation. Now I have a wicked lot of sweatshirts. Get curious about that and notice the interplay between surface and stored. And when you are able to clean out your stored clutter, then you have more room to move the things that you truly want from your surfaces to your storage. It's a process. It's just a process. And I can teach it to you because that's what I'm really good at. Okay, what else do we have here? Julia says, my son is a minimalist, cleared his room in chunks. Each time it's a challenge to let go, but I do. Okay, I love that your son has a level of clutter that feels right to him, the minimalist clutter. Everybody's different. I have a lot of stuff in my home, but I love it and it's curated and it's functional, so it ticks all the boxes for me. But notice, cleared his room in chunks. That's the only way you ever do anything, is by a bit at a time, a piece at a time, a baby step at a time, a chunk at a time. Chunking it down makes things feel doable. When you look at the whole room, it may seem overwhelming. If you focus on one area, your brain and your head and your heart will say, I can do that. Like right now, if I looked at this whole room, actually I've got a whole lot of empty space because I just brought a chair to auction. But like on this table, it's like, oh my God, this looks kind of overwhelming. But then you know what I'll do? I will categorize my things. I'll put all my blue notebooks into one pile. I will put all my other things into another pile. I will do the things that chunk it down in a way that it feels doable. And that doable feeling is the feeling that will then propel my body to pick up the items and actually do the action. Okay? Notice that. There we go. Yep, we are humans. Oh, decanting, like taking items out of packing and putting into... Oh, that. Thank you, Catherine. Sorry. Oh, I've seen that. It is the same thing. Decanting. If you want my honest opinion about that, here, it's my focus. I will tell you, I think personally for me, it's a big waste of time. That's how I am. It looks good if you want to take a picture of your cupboards. I would want to gather up all the minutes I spent decanting and making it look pretty on the off chance somebody opens up my cupboards and is like, "Ooh, look at all your Cheerios." I want to spend that time doing something I really want to do with my life. Now, if you don't know what if you don't know what you want to do with your life, boy, can you busy yourself with a lot of that minutia and a lot of that surface stuff. But just think about how much time it takes you to do that. Now, that's my opinion of me. The management, opinions expressed here are not necessarily those of the management. Those are my opinions. This is my page. You do you. If you enjoy it, if it brings you joy every time to open up your cupboards and do it, by all, just go at it. Have fun with it. But if you're doing it and it doesn't feel right, question why you were doing it. Okay? And it is the same concept, because when you take a bottle of wine, you decant it so it aerates and stuff like that there. So thank you for clarifying with that, Catherine. I appreciate that. I see a lot of that. There's a lot of trends. I've been around enough to know, and I worked in home goods. I literally started working at Pier 1 Imports when I was in college. And so I see the trends in home decor and in home organization, because I love being organized. But so there is a trend right now of taking your stuff out of the packages that it's existing in, pouring things into clear plastic or glass containers, making labels, fronting and facing, high to low, all that kind of stuff. And to me, that's okay for that. If that's okay for you, go for it. But I think personally, it is a lot of time spent for a very little return, and I have a finite amount of time left on the planet. So do you. This is where my life coaching and my decluttering your life is I just want to have you think about, how much time do I spend doing that, and is there something I'd much rather do with that time? Okay, just offering it. I think the mail carrier is here. Maybe I got a package. Jennifer Serenity says, I'm a caregiver and so appreciate this. I continue to downsize and give to local nonprofits to help. Trust me. So I am Gen X. I just turned 57. I've been I have decluttered myself slowly over the years, but I am loving how it feels, because I know that I am also enjoying the freedom and the lack of responsibility. When you have more items in your house, you're responsible for taking care of them. The fewer things, the fewer responsibilities. And also, I am setting up my life so it feels good to me, because you mentioned caregivers, but also so that when I look at the next generation and my family down below, I don't have kids. I've got nieces and nephew, as I like to say, and that reminds me of Uncle Roger, niece and nephew. I get nieces and nephew, but I am setting it up so it's going to be easy on them, because I am also not going to guilt them into keeping any of my stuff. If they want it, it's great, but if not, I'm going to be like, here, let's make a plan so when I die, it's not an undue burden on you. And I enjoy living my life surrounded by my stuff. I'm not about to empty my house out before I die, nor do I expect anybody else to a level that doesn't feel comfortable. However, having a plan in place helps. Mama Salami says, my Sibs and I waited till after our dad passed, and it is still hell. A year later, he was so stubborn. He was so stubborn. He's gone. You're being stubborn now because you don't have a plan. Just notice that. Notice that having a plan in place that feels right to you is important. Jen Stowe is saying, thoughts on kids' schoolwork and paperwork so hard to get rid of. Notice that it's a sentimental item. Sentimental. That stuff reminds you of a time when they were that old. How about this? Containerize things, okay? And what I mean by that is put parameters, put limits on what you do, and say to yourself, I'm going to take this one kind of half-size tote, and I'm going to fill it with whatever I want to save for my kids. But once it doesn't fit in that, something's got to give, something's got to give, something's got to give. Something else has to go out so it doesn't go past this tote. The other thing too, though, is I want you to think about how you act and feel about saving stuff. And are you providing, if you're struggling with clutter, is that the best way to go about things? Are you leading by example when you're holding on to stuff that your kids may be ready to let go of? I realize that, trust me, I know that things create a sentimental feeling. And that's good until it kind of overwhelms you, that everything you touch has a sentimental feeling, right? Just think about that. There we go. Oh, Mama Salami just says, my 3 kids are now in their 40s and I'm finally ready to dump their stuff thanks to Beth. You're welcome. Get them involved. See if they want it, but if they say no, honor that. And when I say to you, honor when somebody says no, they don't want it, turn that right back on yourself. Honor yourself. If you ask yourself, do I want this? And the answer comes back no, trust yourself and let it go. Let it go back out into the wild and back into circulation so it can match up with somebody who's going to love it. Okay? Emma says, I only have one more barn to clean out. I just chip away every day. There you go. And it works. Every little bit helps. Okay. So keep on chipping, Emma. And I hope you're enjoying the process. I hope you're finding some treasures. I hope you're delighting in the discovery of the space you have and things are looking better. Gloria says, do you work with ADHD patients? I hyperfixate on new hobbies and now have a hard time decluttering. Gloria, I do. However, I request that you get an official diagnosis of ADHD and you get that managed the best way you can first. I only say that because if you don't, it's going to make our time together a lot more frustrating because there are certain things that you need to do to take responsibility for your ADHD to work with it, whether that is, medication or, training or something like that. I have ADHD. It runs in my family. We have it officially diagnosed and medicated all the way to unofficially diagnosed by us and unmedicated. And boy, is it a difference. So get the help you need for your ADHD. And then I am a nice kind of specialist. I almost said specificist. I guess I am a specificist because there's specific things that I do. I can help work with your clutter. But if you are still struggling with how to work with your ADHD, get help with that first. Okay? All right, we need you. I'm here, you guys. I will say this. I am going to be doing some traveling in December. I'm just traveling for Thanksgiving. I might do some pop-ups. I might not. It just depends, honestly, on where Auntie Beth is committed and Sister Beth and Friend Beth. Boy, I wear a lot of hats. And then I have some travels in December that I'm excited about. And I will say this. I want to give you just a quick kind of heads up. That if you're interested in coaching with me, if you would like me to be in your life one-on-one on Zoom, let's get that on the books now, okay? Now, I do this as not a scare tactic, but just as information that you can use to make a decision, a more informed decision. That's what information does. My coaching rates are going to increase on January 1st, and they will continue to increase as the months and years go by. I'm a business. This is what happens. I'm giving you that advance notice because if you want to start coaching with me and money is something that's kind of, stopping you from doing it, I want you to know that between now and December 31st, if you do a consultation and we start coaching, we even just get it on the books. Maybe you do the consultation now and you don't even want to start until January. We can make that happen. But the consultation and the commitment needs to start between now and December 31st in order for you to take advantage of what my current rate is. It will go up after January 1st, but the good news is too, is that once you start coaching with me, I like to say it, you're grandmothered in. You know how they always say you're grandfathered in? You're grandmothered in at whatever rate you started. So regardless of how my rates change and increase in the years, if you want to do another session, if you want to do another 10 session package rather, I only work in 10 session packages. If you want to do another package, it will always be at whatever rate you started. So that can save you money, okay? Mama Kimbo says, my mom who keeps everything. I shared with her that she's agreed for us 3 kids to mark things we want. Love it. Went through with grown kids. Love it. Oh, such good stuff. Okay. Dilemma. Save birthday cards from family or toss. No special note, just a greeting card help. Yes, user 1809. Notice how part of you says, well, there's no note. I should just be able to do it. But down here, there's a different story. In your heart, you're like, I don't know, it feels weird. Feels like I'm being disrespectful. Feels like I'm throwing away that person. It may not be rational. Rationality doesn't belong up here. Your heart is not rational. Your head is. Your head is like, sometimes your head can be just like, just do it. We've got all sorts of workarounds in this thing. But what I want to offer to you is this. How about just experiment with this? Now talk about chunking it down. And a lot of times what chunking down is, it allows you to do something you want, but at such a low level that it really doesn't activate your nervous system in that anxiety provoking moment. So Experiment with this. Instead of all the birthday cards that you've all done, how about take one birthday card from whatever you've collected, look at it, read it, see who it's from, absorb the good vibes from it, and then thank them for it, and then recycle. I was going to say throw away. Then recycle one card. See how that feels. Just one card on one day. See if you lived. See if you survived. I'm hoping the answer is going to be yes. And when you do that again the next day. What you're doing is you are reassuring, you are providing safety for your heart and your nervous system, saying it is safe to release this thing. I'm not going to get in trouble. I'm not going to feel harm. It feels okay when I release things that no longer serve me. But work at a pace that feels right to you. If you try to do too much, it will backfire. And you won't get rid of anything. You won't release anything. Okay? Notice that. Yes, I only saved a few with special personal notes. Says German Made 95. And me too. I still have some. I have Christmas cards. I have a box of Christmas cards down the basement that I have continued to save for years. I really have gone through and weeded it. And yet there are some that I still save. And that's okay. Because I don't want to be a minimalist with nothing. I like to have a certain level. But what I do is I'm mindful of it. And I've decreased the amount that I've stored. And I've also changed my habits when I get things nowadays, okay? Just notice it. Alrighty, user 2106, you did the top hit singles from Destination Decluttered. I can't even get started because I'm feeling overwhelmed. If that doesn't sound like a song, I don't know what does. Here's what I want to offer to you as constructive tools you can use to get started and stop feeling overwhelmed. It's realizing that overwhelm is, first of all, an activation of your nervous system that makes you feel like, notice, too much, too big, too much, overwhelmed, shut down. So if you've activated your nervous system to get feeling overwhelmed, the first thing you want to do is to calm down, to deactivate those nerves that are all on edge, like, oh, this is too much. Shh. Calm them down. And I mean that with love. It's like a little kid who's freaking out in the back seat. Shh, calm down. And what I mean by that is overwhelm has the word over. The opposite of that, the way to overcome the overwhelm, is to calm down, is to think of the word down. So slow down your breathing. Breathe deeply into your lungs. Move your hands slowly from above your heart to below your heart. Kind of like you're petting yourself, calming down. It has a calming effect. Maybe pet an animal. Maybe pet yourself, Calm down your nervous system. And when you start to feel less nervous and overwhelmed, then you can also use that word down to help you by chunking it down. What's a little thing I can do today to get started? And find that chunk of things that you feel like and think, I can do that, and do it. And that process we did, calming down and then chunking down, is going to get you where instead of not getting started, that will get you started. Okay? Rachel is saying, selling things of value on eBay easier than years past. Oh, good to know, because I have been dreading selling stuff on eBay. So thank you. I have a handful of things, not too much. I've sold 5 things so far, $170 in total. People, I just say this over and over again. Decluttering makes you money. It does. It stops you spending on stuff you don't want to, and it starts you making money if you want to on your own stuff. Pretty cool, huh? Thank you for doing that. All right, so we've got about 6 minutes left, and then I have to hop off because I've got an afternoon of coaching and consultations. So I will get to the number of comments and questions that I have. But please know, I also have a couple more TikTok Lives this week. Oh, next week? Well, actually, no. I've got one tomorrow morning. If you're on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list, the members only, I'm just double checking here. Okay, I see some people signing in. And if you want to, destinationdecluttered.com/join. Tomorrow night is our monthly group Zoom. It is very fun. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You get the link when you sign up to join Destination Decluttered. And we do it once a month. And it's just it's like this, only smaller. and more casual. You can keep your camera on or not. You can chime in or not. Mute yourself when you're not talking. Ask questions. It's just a nice little group chat so that I can help you more directly than if I'm just reading your stuff. Okay? Notice this stuff. And just if that sounds like, if it feels like that could help you, it's pretty low level. It's a free email thing to sign up for. I don't send you junk. You can unsubscribe at any time. But I do this to just help you. Okay? So, okay. What do I want to say? There we go. German maid hangs my old Christmas cards up in my doorway. There we go. Yes, our aunt kept all the cards we gave to her. Oh, Patty. It was very touching to see, but then we threw them out. Yeah, notice that. Thank you for doing that, but we can let it go. And I bet, here's an interesting thing. When you guys were cleaning out when your husband was cleaning out her apartment, if he never found those cards, if she had thrown them away, you still would have had fond memories of that aunt. So just notice, everybody's got their own thoughts and feelings that make them hang on to stuff. And I want to say, I just help you figure out yourself what the right things are for you to hang on to, and what are the things that if you let go of, your life is going to look and feel and function better. Okay? Yes, this live will be on YouTube later, I promise. I need to catch up a little bit. This will be on later, and I think I have one other one to upload. So Bren, no worries, we can do that. Sentimental clutter is hard, Rachel, but it's not so hard. Don't set yourself up for thinking it's impossible. That's overwhelm. It's so hard, I can't do it. It is the most difficult of all the layers of clutter, but instead of focusing on the difficult, focus on what you're going to get on the other side of that. How much better you're going to feel when you have the right amount of stuff, the quality and the quantity of stuff that you want in your life. Okay? Here we go. Yeah, okay, notice Lisa Pet Care Expert says, I can relate to feeling overwhelmed. Notice it's a feeling. I sometimes get panic, after I've been cleaning for too long. Yeah, you know why? Because your nervous system has a capacity. And when you've reached that capacity, it's kind of a combo. It's kind of like, okay, I'm done. Like I'm full. I can't do anymore. Or it's on the flip side. Oh my God, I feel so empty. Like I have exhausted all of my decision making, and I have used up all of the good feeling, and now I just feel stressed. Notice that feeling and back off before it happens so that it feels better when you go in. If you go and work out and it felt awful by the time you were done because you went past your comfort zone, or not even comfort zone, but you pushed yourself past that level, you're going to be really reluctant to go back out and work out. But if you show up and you do a little bit at a time, you're like, oh, that didn't feel so bad. I bet I could go do that again. Notice how when it feels doable, you will show up and do it. But don't hurt yourself, okay? Notice that, okay? Oh, I love it. I love how, I honestly, here's where I will differ. So back in the day, and if we were in a public environment where I was chatting and I heard you whispering in the background to each other, might get irritated about that. But what I love is I love seeing the back and forth during these TikTok lives that I do. I say this because it's such a good community of people. We are all struggling with something, but we can all help each other. Much like I talked about, like it's not a top-down type of thing. You guys, we collaborate. We work together. That's the only way anything of value ever gets done, is when the management up here, when the ideas up here are take into account the workers, and the workers can give the feedback as to, does this seem doable? And when you work together, you're not working nights and weekends. It feels good when you're doing it, and you can clock out when you're done and know that you showed up for a good day's work to get a product that you want. And your product is your destination. You're generating a life that you want to live, a life that is filled with just the stuff you want, and not just the stuff, but the experiences and the feelings and all the good stuff, okay? So that's what we do. That's what I do. I said we, it's just me. Somebody said, do I have people working for me? Well, besides my co-pilot and my backseat drivers, because we all have them. But I'm going to sign off now. Let me give you one last encouragement. Destination Decluttered mailing list. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. Email, you get a free habit tracker, you get invited to free workshops, you get first dibs on coaching consultations. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, we do the group Zoom. Now that is not recorded. if you show up, you show up. There's a certain thing about sometimes you are going to miss things. So if that feels like something you want to experiment with, again, the stakes are low right here. You can keep your camera off. You don't have to ever speak up. You can just hear other people. You can put it on and declutter while it's around. All right? I just want to let you know that there's help out there for what you're struggling with, clutter-wise. And before I sign off, if you know somebody else, if you know people who are struggling with clutter and you think that they could benefit from what I'm saying and how I'm describing it, please share Destination Decluttered with them. My TikTok page, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, website, however they might interact with the stuff I'm giving out, I'm here to help as many people as I can with the time and space that I have, okay? So if you want me to help you, know that my time and space is limited, and so get on the list so you know all the spots aren't taken, okay? Have an awesome day, people. You all have been wonderful. Thank you so much for all your tips and tricks and suggestions and praises and encouragements. And there we go. Beth, Whitley, everybody, we got this, all right? And when you feel better, you do better, okay? I'll see you tomorrow or tomorrow night. Bye.